Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hashalom, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
It is really wonderful to be here with all of you tonight to bring in Shabbat. This is my first time back in the sanctuary with people. My name is Rabbi Rebecca Rosenthal, and I'm joined on the bima by my colleagues, the Dans, our senior cantor, Dan Mutlu, and Rabbi Dan Ross, as well as our wonderful musicians who always help us to usher in Shabbat with such beautiful music. And gratitude to our AV and ops teams who allow us to have this meaningful and safe service here in our sanctuary and through our live stream. And we are grateful to be here with all of you. Oh, look at all these waves. All of you tonight, and we're grateful for all of the work that they do. Last week, Rabbi Auerbach said that Shabbat was extra special because it had a name. Shabbat Chazon, the Shabbat of vision. This is also an extra special Shabbat because it has a name. Shabbat Nachamu, the Shabbat of comfort. The Haftorah this week says, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Comfort, be comforted, my people, says God. I heard a wonderful interpretation of this teaching just this morning, actually, which is, the interpretation says, be comforted, y'all, and y'all do the comforting. I don't know if I did that y'all thing right, but that the comforting is reciprocal. The comfort comes from God, but it also comes from us. And after the loss and destruction of Tisha B'Av, that's the task we're turning to comfort and to be comforted. God is here to comfort us, but we are also here to comfort one another, to reach out a hand, to bring light into the darkness. And so we're going to bring in the light of Shabbat, and I hope that you will find some peace and comfort being together, whether here or virtually, celebrating Shabbat with us. I'm going to invite Madeline Myers and Andrew Gotthelf to light the Shabbat candles in honor of their very recent engagement.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
Mazel tov.
So we'll continue with psalms and songs and music to welcome Shabbat. We'll start with Shirul Adonai, Sing a New Song Unto God, page 13, or your order of service, and then we'll sing Zamrul Adonai on page 15. Shirul Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shirul Adonai, Kol Haaretz. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la la la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la la la. Ya la la la. Shiru, shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash. Shiru, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Oh, sing, sing a song, sing a new song to our God. Sing a song of joy and praise. Sing it out, oh, sing it loud. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la la la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya 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 la la la.
We're on page 20. The psalm to welcome Shabbat, Lecha Dodi. We imagine Shabbat dressed all in white, coming down this aisle, bringing to us refreshment, bringing us peace. So we'll sing together verses 1, 2, 5, and on the last verse, on the 9th verse, we'll rise to greet Shabbat. Ya la 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 penei Shabbat, penei Shabbat nekabela, ya la 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 la, penei Shabbat, penei Shabbat, nekabela. Shamu v'zachu b'dibur echad, hishmiyan el hamyuchad. Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem kol tiferet v'litila. Ya la la, ya la 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala.
Kala. Yalalalai B'nei Shabbat, B'nei Shabbat Nikah. Yalalalai Chaloni, Yalalalai Nikat Kala. Yalalalai B'nei Shabbat, B'nei Shabbat Nikah.
We remain standing for the call to worship, the Baruch Hu, on page 146.
Yalalai, 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam, 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 Le'olam,
You may be seated. We read together on 147, Mariv Aravim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro Mariv Aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or.
Mavir yom umei v'layla, המבדיל בין יום בין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה, אדוני
Before we sing the Shema, chant those words that declare the oneness of God, we're going to stop for a moment to appreciate that this week's Torah portion actually includes the Shema and includes the Ve'ahavta. So in that way, we bring those teachings to us week after week in our services and make them new again. In that spirit, we'll sing our Shema, and then we'll sing a different version of Ve'ahavta, one that maybe is familiar to you, so that we can refresh this idea of loving God with all of our heart and all of our soul.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Love, only love, with all your heart. Love, only love, with all your soul. Listen to the wisdom inside and around you. You will remember. As you're walking through the day, make this world a better place. Children will learn, and the future will be love. Love, only love, with all your heart. Love, only love, with all your soul. Listen to the wisdom inside and around you. You will remember. In your home and on your way, make your life a voice of God. Be a sculptor for the holy. Be a doorway for love. Love, only love, with all your heart. Love, only love, with all your soul. Listen to the wisdom inside and around you. You will remember. You will remember. You will remember. Mi Chamocha, our song of freedom. Looks like it's on page 152. Mi Chamocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha, Neda B'Kodesh, Norati Hilot, Oseh Feler. Mi Chamocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha, Neda B'Kodesh, Norati Hilot, Oseh Feler. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Malechutecha ra'uvanecha כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני
I read this week that the air quality in New York City is the worst that it's been in 7 years. When you investigate the reason for this, you might be surprised to learn that the fires in Oregon and other parts of the West, thousands of miles away, are sending smoke, dust, and ash that is affecting our weather. You may have also seen the bright red sun, another astonishing effect of these devastating fires. And so we turn to Hashkivenu, the prayer where we ask for God's protection, for God's sukkah to spread over us and shield us from harm and destruction, to make sure the place where we live and the air that we breathe is safe. And even as we feel the effects here on the East Coast, we send even stronger prayers for protection to those in the path of the fires and those who are bravely fighting it. We pray together Hashkivenu on page 153.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim Hashkivenu Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom. Hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, from sorrow and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom. Hamidenu malkeinu
We rise in body or in spirit for tefillah on page 155.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי אגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu Mimotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, האל הגדול הגיבור הנורא, אל עליון גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים אתה רב להושיע. מוריד אתה, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים. צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We take a moment now for silent prayer for whatever brings you comfort on this Shabbat Nachamu, the words of your heart or the words of the Siddur, beginning on 159.
דברו עלי ירושלים וקראו אליה דברו עלי ירושלים וקראו
Having just heard Kenner Mutlu sing those words, I'm actually still sitting with your teaching, Rabbi Rosenthal. You did a good job. Nachem, oh, y'all. Comfort, y'all. You did a good job.
She used to live in Texas.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. All right. Go Texas. Hook 'em, horns. Nachemu, Ami. Comfort, y'all, and be comforted. And in particular, at this moment in our service, as our thoughts and prayers turn to those in this community who are in need of healing, we know that Nachemu, comfort, is something that God speaks to us, but it is also something that comes through the support and love and kind prayers that we offer to each other in times of need. And those people in our community who are in need of healing this evening are Kathy Barron, Simcha Ben Sara, Linda Blum, Donald Brief, Jerry Calderon, Lou Chen, Arden Donahue, Corey Flom, Jerry Friedman, Susan Friedman, Ashley Goodman, Zelek Gresser, Howard Hochberg, Billy Innerfield, Alexandra James and the James family, Walter Cass, Deborah Jacobson, Ephraim Ben Levy, Erwin Merkatz, Joan Mouton, Natanya Batsara, Sandy Shupper, Bill Smith, Nathaniel Wiesel, and Pam Young. To those names, we add the names of anyone who's in your heart this evening. And we join together in our prayer for Misha Berach.
Misha Berach, Avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Hu Yivarech, Ve'yirapeh et hacholim. Misha Berach, Avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Hu Yivarech ve'yirapeh et hacholim.
We also know that there are many causes for celebration in this room this evening, and so y'all know the drill. At this time, I'm going to list some reasons you might be joyous and invite you to rise and remain standing. So if you celebrated a birthday this past week or will celebrate one in the week to come, happy birthday. We invite you to rise. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Or today, of course today, happy birthday. Or maybe you celebrated an anniversary this past week or are going to celebrate one next week. We invite you to rise. Happy anniversary. If you welcomed a new member of your family this week by wedding, by birth, by adoption, or in some other exciting way, we invite you to rise. Mazel tov, mazel tov. Now, I messed this up the last time, which was our very first Shabbat service with everyone optional vaccinated in the room, because I said, if you got vaccinated this past week, and obviously that doesn't apply to anyone in this room. So I'm talking to all of you out there, live streamers. If you're live streaming us and you got vaccinated this week, please rise. Or for anyone else who helped someone get vaccinated this week, we invite you to rise. Today, I'm very excited, is National Vanilla Ice Cream Day, and it is in fact my favorite flavor, so if it's your favorite flavor too, please rise. Nice, that's great. If you're rooting for Team USA, obviously the Olympics begin this evening. No, I see a little bit of, oh, there we go. All right, good, there's our patriotism. Or if you are just glad to celebrate Shabbat with us, we invite you to rise in our prayer of joy.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה
I don't know what to do. Shabbat Shalom. A few months ago, I read this article in the New York Times about the last 2 northern white rhinos on Earth. A mother and daughter named Najin and Fatu, who live in a wildlife conservancy in Kenya. The efforts to care for these 2 rhinos are extraordinary. Every need is attended to by their caretakers. They are diligently guarded by security, and in a pre-pandemic world, people came from all over the world to see them, these enormous creatures who are the last 2 of their kind. A remarkable effort is being made to save the northern white rhino species. Najin and Fatu were born in captivity in the Czech Republic, and when they arrived in Kenya, a tutor was brought in to teach them how to be wild rhinos again. Scientists are attempting to harvest their eggs in the hopes that they can regenerate the species at some point in the future. These efforts may not be enough, and yet people persist. Sam Anderson, the journalist who wrote the article, writes, "At some point, we have to talk about love, about rhinos as givers and receivers of love. We don't live in a culture that encourages this. Love is not quantifiable. It doesn't generate doom statistics. It is ignored in policy debates. And yet, in the end, love is the source of all our meaningful values." What has stayed with me in the months since I read this article is that it is an extraordinary meditation on love and also on loss. Those who are caring for the rhinos know that when Najin and Fatu die, they will witness not only the deaths of the individual animals, but the extinction of an entire species. And yet, they continue to care for them because, as the article makes clear, Their caretakers have a deep love for their animal companions, and because love and loss are inextricably linked. The link is strongly reinforced by our calendar and this week's Parsha. This past Sunday, we commemorated Tisha B'Av, the saddest day on the Jewish calendar, where we mourn the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem and a number of other devastating events that have befallen the Jewish people. And then we transition to this Shabbat, where we read probably the most famous declaration of love in the Torah, the Ve'ahavta, the idea that we should love God, as you heard Cantor Mutlu sing, with all our hearts, with all our souls, and with all our might. Tonight, we also begin the celebration of Tu B'Av, the 15th of the Hebrew month of Av, which is the Jewish holiday of love. And none of this is an accident. We move from our lowest place to a place of celebrating love. But the love we're celebrating is not superficial or surface. It's not the love of, oh, I love your shirt. Oh, I love that song. The love we celebrate is one born out of the depths of the most devastating loss. It's a love that doesn't overcome or leave behind brokenness, but seeks a way to live with it, to carry it, to make it part of our story. In Bava Batra, the Talmud tells us that the Israelites carried the broken tablets along with the whole tablets on their desert journey. Our tradition teaches us that the first set of tablets that Moses brought down from Mount Sinai were broken on Tisha B'Av. In a low moment for the Jewish people, their relationship with God is shattered. But the second part of the story teaches that Moses brought down the second set of tablets on Yom Kippur, after the community had found a way to rebuild and bring itself back to God. They never forgot the first tablets, but those tablets became part of who the Israelites are. Those broken tablets strengthened their relationship with God and with each other. They motivated the Israelites to find ways to love God with all their heart, their soul, and their might. And let us consider the timing here. The Israelites took the time between Tisha B'Av and Yom Kippur to mend their relationship with one another and with God. And how fortunate for us that we are in that exact time period, where we might have the opportunity to examine our brokenness and rebuild from a place of love. In 2 weeks, we will reach Rosh Chodesh Elul, and 4 weeks after that, Rosh Hashanah. We have work to do on ourselves, on our relationships, on our community. The tablets may have been broken, but we have time to carve new ones. What do you need in the next 6 weeks to write a new story based on love? What brokenness are you carrying that is in need of repair? And who can you reach out to? Who can you care for? What love can you send out into the world? Our director of early childhood, Cindy Grebo, likes to read a book called The Invisible String to our pre-K students who graduate and leave Central Synagogue Nursery School. It's the story of a mother explaining to her children that even when they are not together, they are connected by an invisible string. At first, the children are confused. What good is a string you cannot see? But as you read through the story, it becomes clear that the string is, of course, love. Love is the string that connects the mother to her children, friends to one another, graduating students to their beloved school. Love has a power and a force, even though we cannot see it. We know what it feels like, and we know when it's there. And even in our most difficult moments, love can find a way through the rubble and the ashes, the destruction, the pain, and the loss. Love is not a way out of the brokenness. We carry that loss with us. It is part of who we are. But love is a way through the brokenness. This love that overcomes your heart and soul and might is a web so strong that it can hold the heaviness of the broken tablets, the coming extinction of the northern white rhino, and our own broken hearts. Weaving a web of love is the only way we can go on in the face of loss and pain. The rabbis teach that the temple in Jerusalem was destroyed because of sinat chinam, baseless hatred, because people could not find a way to be kind and loving to one another. In response to this rabbinic idea, Rav Kook, the first Ashkenazi chief rabbi of Israel, taught, if we were destroyed and the world with us, due to baseless hatred, then we shall rebuild ourselves and the world with us, with ahavat chinam, with baseless love. He chooses his words carefully. It's not just the temple that needs rebuilding with love. We need to rebuild ourselves with the same kind of baseless love. We need to see ourselves and our world as being worthy of unbounded, unbridled, unconditional love. Only when that happens are we able to rebuild. And we won't rebuild the same as before. We can't, because the loss and the destruction has to be part of the rebuilding. We have to remember that the baseless hatred in order to rebuild with baseless love. Let's return to Najin and Fatu. As the last two of their kind, you might ask yourself, why does so much effort go into their care? Living longer will not prevent the almost inevitable extinction of their species. This is indeed one possible response. But another possible response, the one that's being lived out every day in Kenya, is that loving is in the most expansive way possible is what makes life worth living, even with the possibility of loss. Those who care for Najin and Fatu do so out of a deep love for these animals and for the whole world's ecosystem represented in these two rhinos. Even if they can't stave off extinction, everyone deserves to find and to give that kind of love. Brené Brown teaches to love is to be vulnerable, to give someone your heart and say, I know that this could hurt so bad, but I'm willing to be vulnerable and love you. So let us enter the next season of our calendar with baseless love, with an open heart, with vulnerability, carrying the broken and the whole tablets together. May we all be blessed to give and receive love. Shabbat Shalom.
We continue now with the concluding prayers of our service, Aleinu L'Shabeach, on page 282. We'll ask you to rise. Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol, L'Teit Gedula L'Yotzer Breshit, Shelo Asanu K'Gei Ha'aratzot, Velo Samanu K'Mishpechot Ha'adama, Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem, V'gor Aleinu K'chol Hamonam, V'anachnu Korim U'mishtachavim U'modim Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'nehemar V'haya Adonai Lemelech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad U'shemo
Please be seated. And at this moment of a memory in our service, we invite up Linda Zaro to light the yahrzeit candle.
Yitzchadai יתקדש שמי רבה.
Our thoughts now turn to those dear ones who are no longer with us in body, but who are eternally with us in spirit. At this time, the Central Synagogue community is mourning the passing in recent days of Chris Amsel, father of Josh, John Blauner, father of Michael, Wendy, and Andrew, Tamara Renee Watson, mother of Robert Brown, Erwin Diamond, father of Lynn, Michelle, and Suanne, S. Jeffrey Garfield, father of Max, Elvira Gellis, mother of Denise and Jan, Nan Leader, mother of Cynthia Douglas, Jane, and William, and grandmother of David Gleckel, Miriam Logano, mother of Joan, Mervyn Silverberg, father of Shani, Lori, Robin, Yael, and Jordana, Robert Skitol, brother of Penny Haitkin, and Ann Nurman, wife of Frederick, and mother of Emily Steinman and Deborah LaBelle. At Central Synagogue, we name as our own those members of the American Armed Forces who died in service to their country in the past week, and we are grateful to report that we have no names to share. We do however, have many names to share on the list of civilian deaths and mass shootings in America, among them Nathan Smith, age 27, of Claymont, Delaware, Nia Courtney, age 6, of Washington, D.C., Michaela Marie Harris, age 18, of Portland, Oregon, Corey Michael Saunders, age 44, of Tucson, Arizona, and John Clinton, age 18, of Jacksonville, Texas. We think now of those whom death has taken from us at this time in years past. This Shabbat, we are observing the yahrzeits of Sidney Agress, Jacob Ballack, Michael Barony, Morton Barron, Susan Beffler, Ivan Bennett, Isidore Berg, Rena Bialer, Christian Blackwood, Betty Blum, Florine Bogutz, Irving Bondell, Florence Bring, Max Brown, Ben Davis, Alan Disman, Honey Dobro, Milton Dressner, Ida Ehrlich, Mildred Engelman, Esther Farber, Boris Feynman, Rose Feldman, Beatrice Fickman, Maxwell Fox, Lois Gelfarb, Aaron Glickman, Herbert Greenberg, Samuel Hagendorf, Seymour Hendel, Habib Horfar, Elihu Inselbuck, Barry Josephson, Morris Judson, Jeannie Kassler, Harry Kirstner, Dorothy Creamer, Nahum Krieken, Jerry Liebenberg, Austin Leibowitz, Elsie Leifer, Ruth Lashinsky, Esther Levine, Mitchell Levitt, Charles Levy, Shirley Levy-Cohen, Gerald Light, Arthur Melamed, Sidney Marians, Roberta Miller, David Minnenberg, Mendel Nelson, Ray Nussim, Annette Oppenheim, Erna Oppenheim, Maria Papachrissidis, Lee Parker, Irving Pecker, Jesse Picker, Renee Press, Leo Reichen, Michael Rosenberg, Ann Rosenshine, May Rudin, Norma Saul, Lester Schechter, Marion Schuster, Bernice Selman, Lois Sirota, Sheila Siegel, Abraham Siegel, Ray Stahl, Herman Steinberg, Jean Steinberg, Sigmund Sugarbread, Hilda Thomas, Goldia Tobias, Samuel Wexler, Charlotte Weisberg, Lillian West, Nat Yerman, Sam Zero, and Gerald Zimmerman. At this time, if you are in the period of Shiva, the first 7 days following the passing of a loved one, we invite you to rise. If you are in Shloshim, we invite you to rise. If you are in the period of Shana, the first year, we invite you to rise. Or if you're observing a yahrzeit this Shabbat, we invite you to rise. Zichronam livracha, may all of your loved ones' memories be for a blessing. We rise together and join the mourners in the words of Kadisha Tome on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chai echon u'yom echon u'fchayei d'chol beit Yisrael, Ba'gala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam olmei almaya. Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha brichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. Chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Ve'yimeru amen. Ve'yimeru amen. Ve'yimeru amen. Ve'yimeru
Kenner-Mutlu, I promise it wasn't me who locked the ark.
Well, it's okay, because now only the whole world knows where we keep the key.
Please.
We'll find a new spot for it.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are so happy to have all of you here joining us in person, and again, to all of you joining us virtually. You can find us on live stream, Facebook Live, YouTube, or your local JBS station. We hope that you will consider joining us tomorrow and each Saturday morning throughout the summer for our Saturday Mishkan service, which begins at 9:30 a.m. We will be welcoming both members and non-members to that service to join in person. However, as always, you will need to show proof of vaccination or a negative COVID-19 PCR test result of no more than 72 hours prior to the service. Those Mishkan services, of course, can also be viewed virtually. We encourage you to check Central's new website for an extensive list of upcoming programs and information regarding worship services and upcoming High Holy Day information. They are coming so fast. And we invite you to join us now in the Kiddush, which can be found on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'bratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim ki vanu bacharta meotanu kidashta mikol hamim b'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'beratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Challah over here. Oh, almost tripped. That would have been bad, but I didn't. Thank God.
All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. We are going to conclude with the singing of Adon Olam. Page 321 is my best guess. Let's sing together. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'ed nasa b'chefzo kol azai melech
שבו נקרא. אחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשילו להכבירה, בלי ראשית בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה. והוא אלי וחי גואלי, בצור